Hey, what's up everybody? I'm JDublé. I just realized that I'm not particularly thrilled with the audio routing I had for this, so give me 1 second here and I'm gonna fix this. Although, I'm kind of dumb because I'm using my my Nike Zoom thing here and I really probably shouldn't be. But, because I'm gonna have to redo all of this later anyways. But for now, let's, actually I want to go for camera and I think it's the deck link number 3. Disable audio. Is this the right screen? Hello? Decklink 3 is apparently not the answer. I'm not getting anything on that. Let's try Decklink 4. Am I forgetting how this works? Maybe I'm forgetting how this works. Oh, weird. Did I just get like black screen there for a second? That was super strange. Okay, so yeah, this one's Decklink 4. No, it should be Decklink 3. So let's try this again. Let's see what's wrong here. Oh, I understand why that's happening. Oh, gross. That's a bad look, vMix. They need to fix that. I'm not sure why I'm getting a black screen on this though. Oh, it's set to my MacBook right now. That's why. 1 second. So that should just be. If I kick that over to input 1 on the HDMI matrix, now it should be the right audio input. Okay. That's a real bummer though that it kind of screws up my my output whenever that happens. It almost makes me feel like I need to put my outputs at the very beginning, but that would screw everything up. Boy, that's kind of a bummer that it does that, because basically it's like shifting my mix output over whenever I edit the input. I don't feel like it should do that. That's a big bummer, and that makes doing production streaming a big pain in the butt because you're going to see a lot of black screens while I edit inputs. Not sure why that does that, but that might be something I put in as a ticket for later. Okay, at any rate, let me fix what I was going to do with the audio here real quick. Let's go make sure that, so I should be able to go to Dynamic One Audio now and show you the audio computer. Hooray, that works. So these are both coming through aux2 now, and I want to remove them from Q3 because I don't want them going to my loudness radar, and then I want to send this to Q3. Now that'll go to my loudness radar, and I can see that I'm right at about -21 or -20, although my radar is set at mastering for -14, so let's set it to -20 because that's more like what I like to aim for Twitch streams, is about -20. Okay. So now what do I want to do? Let's go back to vMix. So the first thing I need to do is fix my dynamic shortcuts here, because I don't have any activators for them. So let's see if we can get some activators going for these dynamic shortcuts here. So activators, let's see what we have here. We'll do add, find this, and the event is input dynamic 1, and the input should be, I actually think this is going to work. It's audio 1. I'm changing, I don't want that on input number, and the type is Stream Deck, and we'll set the color to be red so I know when it's active. Boom, boom. And it's not what's currently in, so let's go ahead and just clone this a couple times. We'll do audio 2. That should be audio 2. And this one should be vMix desktop. Okay, and it works. So let's just clone that a couple more times and finish out the rest of them. So we'll do the overlay, computer, and then we'll do Camsys. Getting close, we just got Vienna left, and then slobs, which I'll never use probably, but we'll see. I still haven't figured out a good way to use slobs. But now I should have activators on all of that. So now as I change, trying to think if I can give you a good way to see what's going on here. If I switch this over to my desk view camera. You can, well, here, if I pull my phone, you might be able to see this a little bit better, but well, it's not very apparent, but basically it's just a tally button that lights up red whenever I switch which dynamic input I'm throwing in here, so you can see which screen I'm looking at. But we'll just go ahead and continue on here. We'll go back to vMix. Actually, maybe you'll be able to see it if I pull up the Stream Deck controller. No, it doesn't show the dynamic inputs. That's kind of a bummer. Let's just, I want to put some cool icons on these. They're fun, so I like some of these GIFs. They're fun. GIFs, however you want to say it. Which one do I want to use? I kind of want to use this one. I like it. So use that for dynamic 1. And I'll do that with all the dynamics. I'll just use that same one. I should have just left it open. So now I need to duplicate all of these and create tallies for all of them for all the dynamic inputs. Oh, I should probably also go back to my main camera here. Okay, so let's see here. If this, I think I can just copy this like that. And these should still end up with different Stream Deck buttons. And then I can put some other stuff down at the bottom since I won't be able to, well, I guess I could technically have a dynamic 4 if I needed it for anything. So maybe for now I'll leave that slot open for dynamic 4. Boom, boom, boom. I don't think I have shortcuts yet built for dynamic 2 and dynamic 3. So we're gonna need to go take a look at those shortcuts. I've got all the activators, so let's do the activators first. So we'll just clone all of those, and I'm just gonna move them down the list here real fast. Actually, maybe the better way to do this is to, yeah, I'll just move it up like that. I really hate the way they do this, the way it moves on me. I really dislike that. That's something I would ask them to change if it were me. And then slobs goes up above that. So now I should have audio 1, 2, vMix, overlay, Campus, Vienna, slobs. Okay, cool. So now let's change this to input dynamic 2. And dynamic 2. So we just got to change the Stream Deck button and then switch it to dynamic 2. And then we'll continue that process. Button, dynamic 2. Something tells me I should turn this audio up a little bit. I always feel like it's quieter than I think it should be. I'm going to turn it up and see if it feels a little too loud to anybody. Just let me know. But looking at the loudness radar, it seems like it should be a pretty good comparative volume. I do need to just like map out where that is and know for sure, because I haven't done that yet. Last one for slobs, and then we just gotta go make all the stupid shortcuts, which is gonna take forever. But let's clone all of those and then do the same process here. We're gonna move everything up. So we've got audio 2 needs to move up, and then vMix moves up. And I know it says that I'm going to be working on editing a video, and I will be. I've just got to get all this squared away first. Somewhere I screwed up here because overlay should be down below. We'll look at that here in a minute. Let's move Vienna up under overlay and slobs up under Vienna. So what did I screw up here? So I got audio 1, audio 2, overlay, Campus. So this overlay needs to move down. It should be right under vMix. Perfect. Okay, so let's go map all these buttons to dynamic 3. Dynamic 3. And then we'll set up the shortcuts and we'll test it all. And if all goes well, then we can move on to Premiere and get started with the dumpster fire that will be sorting this video. Dynamic 3. Okay, so those activators are all set now. Now I just got to set up the shortcuts to make it all work. So let's take a look here. Shortcuts. So those are all the set dynamic ones, which, did I just not name them? I really should name these. I should give them a title. So this is Dyne 1. We'll say Audio 1. Dynamic 1. Of course I can't do that. Let's call it 81 Dynamic 1. I wish you could make these titles a little bit longer. 82 Dynamic 2. I really wish you could make these longer. This is supposed to be vMix desktop, so vMix Dynamic 1. Oops, I did Dynamic 2 there. This should be Dynamic 1. And this is over Dynamic 1. Is the best way to do this to copy it all? I think it is. So this is Camsys Dynamic 1. This is Vienna Dynamic 1. And this should be Slob's Dynamic 1. Slob Dyne 1. Okay, so let's clone all of those. Ugh, I wish it wouldn't do that. So let's move that up. Move that up. They really do not expect you to have this many shortcuts, I feel like. Because their workflow for having this many shortcuts is really, really gross. Okay, so Audio 1, Dynamic 2. We need to change the button to be that button and set Dynamic 2. Oops, I'll just go ahead and do it. Dynamic 2, set it to Dynamic 2, and we want vMix. Audio 2, Dynamic 1, change that to 2, change the Stream Deck button to Audio 2 and Dynamic 2. So this should be Overlay for Dynamic 2, change the shortcut name. This should be Camsys for Dynamic 2. I know this is kind of gross to just talk through it all, but you wouldn't believe how much it helps. So Vienna for Dynamic 2. If I weren't streaming, I'd still probably be doing this, or I'd be watching some stupid Mario stream. So this is Slobs for Dynamic 2. I almost did the wrong button there. Okay. So we're gonna check and see if this worked here in a minute. Actually, I'm gonna check now if I go Overlay into Dynamic 2, Audio 1 for, oh, that's weird. Does it oh, the activator is just whatever button is pressed. It's just like what I selected, not what's actually in Dynamic 1. So if I go Audio 1, it gives me tally, and then I have to set it to Dynamic 1. So it's just telling me what's in Dynamic 1, not what's hot to Dynamic 1. Let's take a look at those activators. Is that something I can change? Input Dynamic 1. What about... No, I don't think that there's another option for that. That's too bad, because that's not really how I want that to work. I'd rather it show me what is currently hot to Dynamic 1. Actually, but I don't think that there's a way to do that. That's input Dynamic 1. But there's nothing telling me what is hot to Dynamic 1, because I'd actually probably make that green. Ooh, I do have something for input mix 3. Oh yeah, I'm already using those activators. Is there really not like a... like what's hot and what's in... like what's loaded in dynamic 1? That sucks. That's another thing that I should maybe bug them about. Because it'd be really nice if I had essentially like preview and program tally for these dynamic shortcuts. Maybe there's a way to do that, but I don't think so. But I mean, like as of right now, I just have to hit that and then hit that, and then no, I still need to take. It'd be nice if it lit up green to tell me that it wasn't hot. But it doesn't look like they have a shortcut or an activator type for that. What's up, Git? I'm getting my screen share buttons all mapped out into new dynamic shortcuts, and then once I'm done with that, I'm gonna jump over into the video edit. Because I'm changing the way that I screen share, and it doesn't quite have the functionality I was hoping for. Also, let me know if the backing music feels too loud. It always seems like it seems loud in my head, but it's not loud enough, so I think it's fine. So those are input mix 4 and input preview mix, which I do want to add tallies for the previews for mixes, would be nice. May not worry about that right now, we'll see. But I also need to give myself like a global navigation tree, because I have so many pages of shortcuts now that I really need a global navigation tree to be able to do anything. So let's go back to shortcuts and finish what we were doing. So let's copy all the dynamic 2 shortcuts. And I wish it didn't take me to the top of the page. Come on, vMix, be better. 1, 2, then if I go to overlay, it should be 1, 2, 3. Campus should be 1, 2, 3, 4. Vienna is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And Slobs is 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's get the last round here of dynamic 3 shortcuts done. So I need to change the button and do dynamic 3. Audio 2, set dynamic 3. It's funny, this is what I do at work, and then I come home and I do it at home. I think I have a problem. Actually, I haven't got to do as much vMix stuff at work yet as I'm hoping to. Like, I'm hoping here soon to do a lot more vMix stuff at work, because that's really where I want to get to. So this is for overlay, dynamic 3. Do dynamic 3 for Campsys. And then we'll go test all of this and make sure it's working, because I still need to create the shortcuts page for, or change the shortcuts for actually loading up these, because it's totally different. Patreon API is the worst. Are you having to do like all kinds of hackery workarounds to make it do what you want it to do? Okay, so now all those dynamic shortcuts are set. Let's go take a look at the desktop captures. Let's look at the outputs is what I'm interested in. So I should be able to, looking at these outputs, I'm gonna pull up like, let's see here, we've got the one screen overlay. I'm gonna blow this up, although that's gonna look really weird because I have dynamic 2 loaded up as audio 1, so if I load that as audio 2, does that not work? Something's wrong. None of those should be audio 1 right now. Oh, you gotta love the hackery workarounds. So the output single screen seems to be working, because if I load up overlay, it switches over to overlay, and then back to vMix. So what I do differently here, I've got one screen, or single screen, and then I have one screen overlay. So if I go into the layers in multi-view, those are just, hold on, what's this one set up as? The one that's actually working, it's 120 and 125. So what do I have here for my dynamic inputs? How am I actually loading that up? And maybe I haven't actually fixed that yet. Because obviously it's working for this 132. So where was I at here? So desktop captures, the composites. I'm not really using these anymore. They don't provide a lot of functionality. Oh, fun. That's nice though, that at least once you get it working, you don't have to worry about it anymore. That makes a big difference. Okay, so let's go look at these shortcuts. What was I doing here in the shortcuts? Maybe I screwed something up in the dynamic shortcuts. So set input dynamic 1. That looks correct. So I'm pretty sure these are all correct. I'm just curious how I'm actually loading up dynamic 1 into this output. How am I doing that? I'm doing 120 vMix desktop. So somehow that's loading up the dynamic shortcut. So if I change that and I go to audio 2, it changed it to audio 2, and now it'll change it back to vMix. So how is it actually doing that? What's in the... Oh, I know. There's a multi-view shortcut that's changing that, right? So let's go look at that. Shortcuts. Boom, boom. Set multi-view overlay is set to dynamic 1. That's the answer. So this one is set multi-view overlay. Okay, so this is changing all of the main ones. So now what I need to do is clone this essentially. And I need to set that to the dynamic 2 set multi-view overlay button, and we want to do one screen overlay. Value 2 is dynamic 2. Is that right? Let's go look at this real quick, okay? So value 2 should be dynamic 2. So when I change dynamic 2, there we go. Now it works. Oh, that doesn't work because I'm capturing vMix on that. But if I switch to that output in my full screen, which is going to be here, maybe. There we go. Now I got that working. The whole reason for doing all of this, by the way, is so I can get these merge transition effects. All of this, well, and also it'll make it so I have only 4 buttons for what screens I'm showing, but a big part of it is making it so I can get these merge effects while I'm working on stuff, which is cool, because instead now what I could do is I could set dynamic 1 to audio 1 and dynamic 2 to vMix, and now it should work the other way, like it'll bring that in, although that doesn't seem to be pulling dynamic 2 properly. That didn't work. So real quick, let's go back to vMix and let's take a look at what's going on here, because it looks like over here it did it, but over here it didn't, because it looks correct on the one screen overlay, but I don't know that that's actually what that's pulling. So let's fix these buttons real fast. I'm gonna rename them all because this is a bit of a mess. Let's put this up here. So this, instead of audio PC1, should be single screen. This should be one screen overlay. This is going to take me a while to get the hang of this. This is one screen overlay 2, and I need to change that text size, bring that down a little bit. And then I have all lighting, which I might change the name of, but that might get me in trouble now. All lighting, and then 2cam and Reaper, which probably needs to change, but 2cam Reaper. Well, this is actually just going to be 2cam screen share, but I need to come up with all the shortcuts now to make this all work. So let's make sure, well, first things first, let's go change these shortcuts. So I'm gonna find you and change this to be one screen overlay, one overlay. And then this is single screen. Ha ha ha! Yeah. The funny thing is though, I'm up here at home doing much similar things that I would be doing there. So I mean, am I really that smart? Let's find this button. This is currently called vMix. We're gonna call this 1/2 and change that to overlay 2. That's correct. Oh man, I just know that I'm screwing all of this up somehow. I'm gonna have to get rid of a whole bunch of these. What are all these buttons for? These must be over on the other... They're over on the deck over there, which I'll have to change eventually. Okay, let's find this one. I'm still just gonna call it all lighting for now. Wait, did I screw this up? 1/2, okay. And that's one overlay, so this one right here, it used to be overlay computer, I get it. So now this is 4up, we'll call it 4up, which is what I should really name this is 4up, but. And we're setting it all to mix 4. Boy, this is gonna be so easy to screw up, I gotta be real careful here. So that's 4up, and then we've got 2 cams. 2 cams, which should be not camera out, it should be output 2 cam and Reaper, which I need to change the name of eventually, but that'll work for now. So now all of these can go away. We can get rid of all of those. We can go back to the Stream Deck and we can kill all of these buttons because we don't need them anymore. They're redundant, which gives me a whole lot more room for buttons to control stuff with now. Assuming I can keep tabs on all of this. So we'll see if I did this right. So if I did this right, that should change to having a second camera, and I should be able to change who's in that second camera. So if I've got, you know, playing keyboards, or if I've got Eric here with me, we could both be up over Reaper, and I could just change dynamic 1 to audio 1 to be over Reaper. Come back to vMix, very cool, that works. Okay, and then that's for dynamic 2. So then if I go back to this, the one screen overlay should just be that, which I still need to fix the shortcut. And then that should have, well, that was a weird transition the way that worked. I'm gonna have to figure that out, but it's still better than nothing. Then I've got the 4up, which is weird because that's not in the 4up, and then we can go to the 2 cam and Reaper. So, go back to single screen here. Let's start working on all of these buttons and see if we can get some semblance of sanity on how these merge transitions are going to work. Once I get the dynamic shortcuts set up, it should work fine. So, on the one screen overlay, I need to have that. Let's go check and see. Actually, what position is that in the multi-view? It's position 2. So position 2 in the multi-view needs to be dynamic 2. So if I go to shortcuts, set multi-view overlay for that, and it's for the one screen over, value 2 is dynamic 2. That's correct. So let's clone that. And now we want it to be for one screen overlay 2, I think. Or maybe here it's the opposite. I think here we want to do like an inverse. Let me see if I'm right about that. Value 2 should be dynamic 1, and value 1 should be dynamic 2. There we go. That's the way it should work. So now they should be inverses of each other if I did that correct. So let's look and see if that's the case. So if I go back to my dynamic and I set it to audio 1, overlay. Okay, yep, that works. So if you look like right here, if you watch, these two should be inverse of each other. So if I set it to audio 1, audio 1's big on one, small on the other. And now if I take to this one, I should be able to do that, and I should be able to invert them like that. Although that's maybe not the way I want that to happen, but I guess there's no way for that to work properly, is there? Like, one way or another, one of them's going to be above the other when they swap positions. There's kind of no way to change that, I don't think. Like, one of them has to do that. There's no better way for that to happen, which is too bad. Trying to think if there's any other way to do it other than, like, I guess you could do, like, you could go like single screen and then swap it, and you could go single screen and then swap it, but I guess it doesn't really gain me as much as I'd really like for it to. Okay, let's just go back to vMix. Let's go look at these shortcuts. So I need to also change these for dynamic. So I need to clone that and make that button also do value 1 dynamic 1 on all lighting. Clone it one more time and make that button do value 1 for, I don't want it to be for camera out, I want it to be for 2cam and Reaper. So now if I change dynamic 1 to audio 1, it should change on all of them. And it does, except for all lighting, which, why? Boom, boom, boom. So why didn't this one change? Because something's above it. Because this is a 3-up, not a 4-up. That's why. So, so it is there. So I think what I want to do here is swap the positions of that and that, and then just turn you off. And now I just need to go to the position of this one. Actually, which layer is it? It's layer 3 that needs to change. So layer 3 needs to go down to half size, and it needs to pan over, and it needs to come up. There we go. So now let's do the same for the dynamic 2 shortcuts. So let's see here. What is it that I need? I want to squeeze these a little bit so I can read everything. So let's clone that and clone that, because we need it to be for all lighting. Set multi-view for value 2 to dynamic 2. I should be naming these. I'm so stupid. And then this is 2cam and Reaper, set dynamic 2 to 2 to dynamic 2. It just takes so long to name them all, but I should do it. One screen underscore 1. This is over 1, dynamic 1. This is over 2, dynamic 1. This is 3-up, dynamic 1. Wait, where am I? Oh, I'm not typing anywhere. 3-up, 1. I should really name that 3-up. Is it gonna break anything if I do? I think it is, because I think these are named for... nope, they're not named for that, but something is. No, it's just the dynamic ones that are, so I think I can rename this 3-up. Output 3-up. We'll name this 2cam. Okay, I don't think that's gonna break anything. I don't think, he said, hopefully. I did just spill coffee on myself, though. If you're still here, Sir Get Fiddle, this music from Mystic Quest, I definitely want to do more Mystic Quest music. Like, I know we've got that one battle theme that Deanie recorded the other day, but I want more Mystic Quest. More. You synced it? I do want more. Okay. So now we need the Dynamic 3 shortcuts, which the Dynamic 3 shortcuts we don't need as much of, I don't think. Oh, actually, I should test the Dynamic 2 ones real fast. Let's. It seems to me that it is changing all of them. Although I think that I want those two to be opposite. Because is that that's Dynamic 1 up in the top corner. Why is Dynamic 1 changing position 3 in the multi-view? Let's look at that. I feel like I want that to be position 1, but maybe I don't. This is going to be a tough thing to figure out here. So if I look in the 3 up, value 1 is Dynamic 1. That makes sense, and then value 2 is Dynamic 2. So why is this over here? The position of that is in 3? Maybe it's just because I haven't reloaded it yet. Yeah, it's just because I hadn't reloaded it yet. That's why. I still don't want it there. I think I want it where audio 2 is. So I think I'm going to switch those two. Which that's not, okay, that is working, and then vMix should be up there. Okay, so now I've got 1, 2, and 3. I think that makes the most sense. Now I just need to change Dynamic 3 to set position 3. But the 3 up is the only place where I need that particular shortcut, I think, for the time being. So let's clone, and we'll set this to be the Dynamic 3 button. And we'll set position 3 to be Dynamic 3. And this will be 3 up 3. So now I should be able to set that to, for instance, be the overlay computer, which it didn't work. Why did it not work? Because it didn't work because I didn't set the input properly. I see that now. 3 up needs to be on the 3 up output. There we go. So now if I pull up the dynamic, well, that's not going to work, is it? I got to do it this way. Actually, let's rename these shortcuts. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. So we'll just call this 2cam. And we'll call this 3 up so that I can keep track of it. So let's oops, I didn't want to create a page there. Let's delete page 2. Okay, so if I go to the 3 up, which now I need to change my activators, which is kind of a bummer. I'm gonna have to make sure I get that right. So if I change Dynamic 1, it should be there. Dynamic 2 should be there. Dynamic 3, well, I didn't pick the right thing. There we go. Okay. So now I've got Dynamics 1, 2, and 3 set to do that, as well as bring my camera up when I do that. So now, in this particular case, we're working with vMix. So let's set that to Dynamic 1 and set that to audio. And now I could go back to vMix. The only problem is it doesn't move it in the multi-view, and I have no way of moving it in the multi-view without breaking all the dynamic inputs. That's kind of a bummer. So what would I have to do to make that work? If I were gonna go from like, I mean, that works just fine. So I just need to think like, if I wanna overlay vMix on top of the audio computer, then I need to go set, like if I wanted Camsys to be underneath the vMix right now, I'd set that to Dynamic 2 and then go to the, nope, that didn't work right. It'd be that way. which I can look at it and it'll show me over here in my preview, but that just means I need to keep those previews up so I know what I'm going to. Okay, I think that all makes sense. And then I've got tally letting me know I need to work on maybe tallies for those. This is kind of a lot to keep track of here. So if I go to the 3-up, that doesn't work because that's on the bottom layer, and I would need it to be on. Boom, boom. But I'll always be going here. So maybe the answer is to move that in the multi-view and change. Okay, I think the answer here is to move this up in the multi-view to number 4. And then if I go to shortcuts and I look at that 3-up, like what sets input 1 in the 3-up, I don't think it's gonna track. So I need to change value 4 to be dynamic 1. So let's go to the 3-up, which we are. And now if I change dynamic 1, it should still be that one. Okay. And now the difference is whatever's in dynamic 1 when I take to the single screen should be on top. Fuck yeah. Okay. So that works. So now whatever I go to single screen, I can do that, which also should mean if I go to this with an overlay and I go to the 3-up from here, that doesn't work. Well, it sort of works. So there's the 3-up. That's moving it down into an overlay. That's a pretty cool effect right there. To move it like that. That's just gonna switch the two of them, and if I go to the 3-up from here, okay. I mean, none of this is perfect, but it's getting better. It's definitely getting better. Okay, so let's get the activators going because those are going to be important. So let's go back to vMix. So now I need to go to activators, and we need to get rid of some of the old activators here, which I'm gonna, real quick before I do this, I'm gonna save as, and we're gonna call this, because I think I'm moving on to this for sure. So this is 10, 12, 22. So I think I'm committing to these dynamic shortcuts way of doing things. It's considerably less buttons. It's the more modular and like expandable way to do things. So I think it's the way to go. So now I just need to change what's in input mix 4, which I think is what these are, right? Boy, I'm not entirely sure what these are. Let's take a look at what the shortcut's doing, because I think it's mix 4. So this is merging mix 4. Okay. So if I go back to my activators, there's no find button for the activators here, so I got to be a little bit more careful. B3, B, F6. I guess I can cross-reference that. Oh, it doesn't tell me in here. I'd have to go back into the vMix thing. But I'm in the right numerical area at least, so I think what I can do is I can get rid of all of these. I really wish it didn't do that. Those are dynamic 1 input activators. Those are all my dynamics, so the mix 4s is what I need, so let's remove those. Remove that, and now let's go remap what I have. So I need these input mix 4s, so that should be single screen, and that one is currently working. So this one should be one screen overlay number 1. This should be one screen overlay 2. Oh crap, no, these are different. So live camera mix 2. I think these ones I want to keep because these are, I think that's this. Well, that's fine. B4 1EA. B4 1EA. Yeah, that's what those buttons are. So those are if I take the live cameras into Mix 4 full. So if I were to do that, for example, like Mix 2 is my camera, so that should bring me full screen here within Mix 4, because we're still looking at Mix 4, but this is Mix 2's input taking over Mix 4, if I'm understanding correctly, and then I can go back to single screen, and that lets me do that. I also think that that button can probably go away. I don't think I need that one, but I'll leave it for now. Live camera Mix 3. So I think, what does this do? This takes me to a full screen of the secondary camera. This takes me to a full screen of my camera. And then I can come back to single screen. What that would let me do is, let's say I go to the 2 camera input. Then, also, why is that overlay? Shouldn't that be vMix at this point? So that's not right. Something's wrong in the 2 camera shortcut. We'll need to fix that. Actually, something's wrong with that. No, it's just in the 2 camera. But since I have these 2 cameras here now, I should be able to run the Mix 3, or not the Mix 3, but yeah, Mix 3. If I run Mix 3 to full, that should take Eric's camera full up over everything. And then I could go back to single screen. Oops. No, let's go back to 2 cam. Back to 2 cam. We could take my camera. We can come back to 2 cam. We can take Eric's camera. We can come back to 2 cam. And then I could go back to single screen, which single screen should be matching that. So let's finish these activators real fast. So I'm just going to clone these a couple times. Actually, so this is for overlay 2, and that should be that button. Okay. And then let's just move these up because they're here. Like I have them, they just need to be fixed. So that's overlay, 1 screen overlay, that's 1 screen overlay 2. And then I need to get, I've got 3 up and 2 cam. There's 2 cam. So let's fix 3 up. And then let's fix 2 cam. Okay, so let's see if these all work. So I've got that, activator works. I've got that, the activator works. Activator works. And the activator works. Cool. Easy. I also could do whatever's in preview, but I guess that's not as important because I'm not really using preview for that in the same way. Let's go back to shortcuts here real fast. And let's find... So I've got the 2 cam. So number 1 should be dynamic 1 in 2 cam. Why is it not? Let's go look. Because there are other things on top of it. That's why that don't need to be there in 2 cam. So let's just set these to none because these shouldn't even be here. Keep it clean. So now if I change that, I mean, you won't be able to see this, I guess, but now if I, well, let's do this. Let's go to the 2 cam so that you can see it. Because if I change the dynamic 1 to audio 1, that should change to audio 1 with both of us up. If I go back to vMix, there we go. So now I have less buttons to do a lot more things. I kind of need a dedicated controller for the dynamic inputs, but I don't have anywhere to put it. I'm out of space. So I don't really know what to do about that, but having a dedicated dynamic one, like a dedicated dynamic controller would be pretty freaking huge. Okay, so I can go to Mix 2 and come back to 2 cam and go to Mix 3 and come back to 2 cam. Okay, so that all works now. We can get him to go away. We can go to the 3 up, which works. We can come back to single screen. We could bring this down under the overlay computer or under Camsys. If we were here and I instead wanted to have audio 1, I could change audio 1 and then go to that, and there we are. Okay, I think this all works. And then if I go to the 3 up, it's a little weird because that's in audio 1 right now, but I could set it to audio 2 and then it's audio 2, which I'm gonna go ahead and grab real fast. So there's gonna be that gross moment for a second where it blacks out because they need to fix that, but I think as soon as I go to change this input, you're gonna lose picture for a second. If I go to camera and go to, this should be Decklink 4 with audio disabled, cool. I think it's gonna go black for a second. Didn't do it as bad that time, that's weird. Okay, so now I've got that there. So let's think through everything. Am I forgetting anything else? I'm gonna bring up CamSys real fast just because, well, no, I'm not, because I need to save all of this. So I'm gonna leave it with what I need minimally to do this. So if I go to my outputs, those are all my outputs. If I go to my mixes, I've got my camera in mix 2, which I should be able to change by changing like to a guitar feed. So if I had a guitar camera, and now if I go to like the 2 cam, that's the camera that gets used. If I take it full to mix 2, that's what get used. And I can just switch that back to my camera here. And now if I come back to the 2 cam, yeah, cool. Now it's modular. Now everything works. I'm pretty happy about that. That worked better than I thought it was. And then I have mix 3 that's for the other camera, so I can load up different cameras into the 2 up. I could throw, like, for example, my desk camera here, which I guess if we were doing this, it would make way more sense to do it like that, so that you had, well, I guess, no, that doesn't make sense. Either way looks bad. But now you can see like me here and my full desk view. So if I wanted to show like everything that I'm doing, it's here. I could also make like a 4-up camera with the mixes, although I only have 2 mixes for cameras for now. Oh, which is going to be a big problem later if I want to keep it, because what I would need to do is move all of that over to mix. I need to move that all over to mix 15 eventually, which I don't particularly love the idea of doing, but let's get rid of that. Just because it's a lot of like remapping for no reason other than my brain hates it if things aren't in numerical order. Like it would really bother me for like cameras to be in like mix 2, 3, and then 6 and 7. Like that just drives me crazy. But it would mean remapping all of the shortcuts and all of the activators, which also sounds pretty fucking terrible. More Mystic Quest music. This game is just so good. So what am I thinking now? Is there anything else I need to finish here? Like, once 26 comes out, it will be really nice to have more mixes, and I wish I had them now, because like if I have 3 or 4 people, it'd be really nice to be able to make like a 4-up camera mix. I don't know, I need to use the restroom real fast, so I'll be back in just a second. Man, I almost wonder if I could use some like MIDI flowing into another computer to automate those mic on and offs for me. I mean, I know I could. It's just a question of I'd have to always use the right session if I did something like that, and I don't know how good of an idea that is. I'm gonna try and turn this down just a touch. Okay, so I might want more mixes eventually, which is kind of gross. I also kind of want to know what's in preview, but I don't think that matters quite as much. I don't know that I need the preview tallies. It would be nice if I had something to tell me like mix 4 was in full screen, but I don't think that there's any shortcuts for that, unfortunately. Like I don't think that the activators have anything to tell me what went into full screen. Let's see. The event is full. Event full screen. Yeah, I don't, because there's no like, there's nothing to tell it like what camera is in that or what input is in that, so I don't think that that's the right thing. I don't think they have an activator for this, for like what's in the full screen output. That's something that maybe I should go request on the forums or something, because that would be super helpful. Bing. I don't know what these are for. I didn't label them. They don't seem to be doing anything. I wish that there was a little bit better organization. Like if I could create like bins for these things, that would be for the activators, so they didn't, and for the shortcuts, so they didn't have to be in like one gigantic list. If I could have pages of shortcuts for different types, that would be really cool. Anyway, I think that this all works. So let's move on to Premiere, I think. So let's come over here and first things first, let's go ahead and well, I'll leave that audio in there for the moment because I don't know if it's gonna matter or not. But let's open up Premiere. So I need to get Eric's deal here because he's got the ability for me to see the time code of where I'm marking in out points for all the different takes. And apparently Google Docs dark mode, I need to like click on it. That way it's not quite so bright on my face, because you can tell like the difference in lighting here. Like when I drop that, it like brightens my face up so much. Ugh, I fucking hate it. I'm almost tempted to drop the brightness on my screen just to get rid of that. But I think what I'm gonna do just temporarily, and don't be mad, Eric, but I'm just gonna like fill this in with a slightly darker color to see if I can prevent it from ruining that shot quite so much. Let's pull up replicate like a stone. Okay, so this is my master timeline, which doesn't have anything in it yet. I need my editing timeline, and we need to go through selects. You're furious? Well, fuck you, buddy. So let's start with part one guitar mid shot's my first one, so we'll go through that. Part one guitar mid shot. And I'm trying to decide if I want to bin this out a little bit more, or if I'm happy enough. Like, I almost kind of feel like I want to sub bin these just in case we make changes, because I might want to have like V1, V2. Yeah, I think that does make sense. So let's just do new bin from selection. I really need to put that onto a hotkey, but let's just go ahead and do it all real quick. So we're just gonna bin these. Because I might end up with multiple versions of it. It's possible. New bin from selection. Let's just wrap these up as we go. Oh, where are you at? I really need to put this on I'm just gonna do it real fast. That's what I'm gonna do. So let's get out of here. Let's go into my Premiere shortcuts, and I gotta decide something to get rid of. So I really probably need to start building. Oh, I forgot to make a nav page for myself over in vMix. I'll do it later. Doesn't matter. What can I get rid of? I think overlays is not super important, so I'm gonna get rid of that. Also, what is this? This adds time code, so I'm gonna add a button for. Too bad I don't have a. Well, maybe there is. Let's look and see what there is in the thing. I just need a hotkey, and I'll have to come up with something. This is bin. Control it should be maybe. We'll have to go see if that works. But new bin from select. Okay, and then maybe I'll just use a. We'll see if there's anything in the Premiere pack. There might be. Premiere. I need to make more pages for Premiere. I really need to just start doing that because I can already tell that I'm gonna need more. Because I just need like new bin from select. I need to have shortcuts for all of these things. I don't see a new bin from selection or a new bin type of an icon. Which is kind of a bummer. I'm surprised they don't have a bin icon. I guess I could go make something, but I don't really want to. That sounds like work. So I'll just use a generic. I'm not going to care. Let's just use a fun neon grids one. That way it'll be obvious that it's different from the rest. Okay, and then edit preferences. There should be something for shortcuts in here. Keyboard shortcuts, there we go. Let's see here, how do I add modifiers? Search for Control-Alt-Shift-B? No. Control-Alt-Shift, can I not like put them together? I must be able to somehow. Control-Alt-Shift, there we go. So this should be my Control-Alt-Shift modifiers. New bin from selection is Shift and B. Okay, so I already have one. Let's see if it works. Shift and B. Okay. I almost maybe just want to memorize that rather than put it on the deck, but I'm going to put it on the deck. So it's Shift and B. Where the hell's my Stream Deck icon? There it is. Too many icons. Hotkey is just Shift and B. So let's see if that works now. Copy the name of it. New bin from selection. Cool. I like it. That's way faster. But this way, if we change our mind about anything... I missed a bin name here. I guess I didn't need selects in the title for these, but it's easier than renaming them all. I just gotta make sure I don't screw this up at all, because that would be easy to do. Okay, so I just need to double check these as I go, and we're gonna name each one V1, so let's sort by name. Okay, so I'm working on selects guitar mid shot right here, and we're gonna name this sequence V1. And I'm still torn on whether or not I want to throw a LUT on the top of this for work purposes, or if I just want to edit on flat footage. I'm kind of tempted to just edit on flat footage, but I also do need to throw a time code up above it, because I kind of screwed something up a little bit. So what's the best way to do this? I'm just gonna give myself like a generic. So let's go into selects, and then I'm gonna create a new bin and call it adjustment layers for this particular thing, and then we'll do a new item adjustment layer, and we'll call this time code. And we'll just drop that in like that. I think though I'm gonna need to use an offset here on the time code, because eventually I need to put these up on top of each other to edit. But maybe that doesn't matter quite so much. But I am gonna move it eventually. So what if I... Let's do this. I should have done this. This is because I screwed up in the way I sent you timecode, Eric. So now I have to pay for my past sins here. So So let's zoom in on this and make sure I'm on the right spot. I think what I want to do is, I'm going to mute the audio for the minute because I actually don't need audio for anything that I'm doing here. But if I put the timecode plugin on and I just leave it, let's see here. I'm gonna do this. Let's go down to my timecode. Because I think I sent these off with the nested sequences. So let's go open up the guitar mid-shot timecode. Nope, that isn't how I did it. So I can just use the full sequence here. I can leave that up at all times. So I just need to find the guitar mid-shot. There's vocal, guitar tight. I wish I wouldn't have screwed this up so bad. Guitar mid-shot. Here we go. So, oh, actually this sucks because I don't know exactly where it... I guess I can frame it. Where does it change? So right there, 338 and 18 is my deal. So let's grab the timecode plugin. And we want it to be 24. I want it to grab from video 1. And then add some offset. Oh, can I not, like... Wait, that doesn't seem right at all. Wait, where did the timecode get put? Did it get put... Yeah, it's up here on the adjustment layer, right? Or is that on this clip? No, it's up here. So why isn't it showing me an effect thing on there? That's strange. Timecode is SMPTE. Timecode source is clip. There we go. That's the answer. But it doesn't give me enough, like, the starting timecode. I want to change the starting timecode, but I can't if I use clip, can I? So what if I change this to generate and I set the starting timecode? Yeah, this sucks. This is what I get for fucking up. So the starting timecode is 338.18. 338.18. So it's 3 minutes, 38 seconds, and 18 frames is my start time code. Why is it not showing? Source track is none. That's why. Label text is automatic. Wait, where is... Okay, there it is. But why is it not offset properly? That's not where that should be. That should be... Boy, I wish I hadn't have done the timecode burn-in like this. And maybe I'm overthinking this and don't need to do it this way. What if I just set the starting timecode to 0? That's not even close. SMPTE, it should be set to generate. If I set it to generate, that should put it at 0, right? But I can offset it, but that's not right. If I set it to video 1, it no longer does anything. Man, this timecode plugin is kind of a pain in the ass. It seems like it should be a fairly simple thing. If I set it to generate, it should start at 0, right? Starting timecode is 0, but it's not generating that way. It's generating... Huh. I don't know. Well, I guess we're not going to do it this way. I'm just going to deal... I'm going to deal with it. So we'll throw the timecode up on here. We'll set it to SMPTE. We'll do 24 frames, and we'll set it to come off of video 1, and that should put me... No, it's not right. Why is it not right? let's go look at this, because this time code should be starting over on each clip, right? It seems to be that that's the case. Like if I go to the beginning of a clip, it should be at 0. Yeah, that's correct. So what did I do differently here? Time code is pulling from clip. Yeah. What? My timeline starts at 0. Maybe it's because my timeline's not starting at 0 over here. So let's go back to this. My timeline here, it definitely starts at 0. So like time code here should be 0. It's not set to generate. That's weird. Learning Premiere. What's so buggy about this? There we go. Set it to clip, not media. I got it. We're there. But now it resets there. If I set it to generate. Man, that should be it. That should be like 0, 0. Start time code is 0, 0, but it's not. It's like a couple seconds off. Why is it a couple seconds off? What if I remove that time code plugin? Okay. Drop the time code plugin on. SMPTE 24 and just tell it to generate. Instead of media, do generate. The starting, I guess I just have to like use the offset to set that to be 0. That's incredibly stupid. But whatever. Let's double check that it looks correct. If it's flowing correctly, at least I can start working. So if I go back to my selects here. Okay, it's the right frame rate. So the first frame of this video should be 338.18, and I think that was the case, that it was 338.18. This is a bit of a hack workaround, but this is what I get for being lazy. Oh, it's totally not 338.18. 338.18, 338.18. Okay. We're in it. We're just gonna edit like this, and then I'll move them in a another sequence. I'll just duplicate the sequence once I've marked the in and outs, and then I'll leave that sequence alone, and we'll do another sequence where I put them on top of each other and we start cutting. Okay, guitar mid shot, 26 to 37. I'm just going to use markers here to do this, so we should be able to do, you've got 26 even. Boy, I'm going to set this to half preview because we don't need a good preview right now. So 26 even, we'll drop a marker on here. And do I have a way to see my markers? What am I in here? I'm in effects. Let's go over to the editing tab so I can look at markers. Do I have markers in here? Markers, yeah. So I kind of want to pull my markers out of here and put them like here for the moment. I think we'll do that. Let's do... Yeah, we'll do something like that. Actually, I'm going to scoot this. I don't need that big, thick meter. And this can be smaller because it's not big anyways. And then I'm going to move markers. Yeah, we'll use them. Like right there. And that way I can just have markers going. So here's my project window. I really need to like 2-screen this, but it just doesn't work for streaming. So this is what we gotta do. So let's Add a marker. Which, did that actually work? No, it didn't. Add a marker. And this should be at... Oh god, I hate that that doesn't match. Why in the world does that not match on my timeline? I should be at 26 seconds, so why does it think that it's at 1:17:42 and 27 frames? That's weird. Well, I guess I'm not going to worry about that too much. We're going to make... Oops. We'll let that be a green marker. Green markers will be our endpoints. And then red markers will be our out points. So if that's 26, then I want to go to 37 seconds. I guess I could go ahead and just start making cuts. Maybe I should just go ahead and start making cuts and coloring them. Yeah, I think that's the better route here. So let's not worry about making all of these markers. Let's just... What's the most efficient way to do this? I'm having a hard time thinking. Oh god, I put the wrong frame rate. I'm so stupid. What's the best way to do this? Because if I cut it all up now, I'm still going to have a reference point later, which I'm going to have a reference point, that's fine. I wonder if I can like print this time code on here. Is there a way to do that? Like print the effect or freeze the effect or something? What I would love to like is just like burn it into the time code so that if I cut it and move it, it'll still stay where it's at. I'd probably have to like render it, right? There's probably some way to like render. I don't actually know how I would do that on this, like how I would like burn an effect into an adjustment layer. Let me look that up real fast. Premiere, burn effect into adjustment layer. That may not be the right way to put that, but maybe freeze is a better way to put that, but then I don't think that makes any sense because then I probably lose the opacity. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Well, oh well. So I think the answer here is to just cut where these markers are, and maybe I don't even drop markers in. Well, let's see. I'm gonna try it. So this should go to 37 seconds, which is right in here somewhere. So there's 37 seconds, and then we'll drop a add marker, and let's change the color of this marker to red. And that way I know it's an out marker. The thing I'm just not sure about is whether or not I want to... So let's see here, previous marker. Oh, it doesn't actually move me to the next markers? That's stupid. I thought it was actually gonna like take me, move the playhead to the marker. Is that a shortcut that I can change? Shortcut, marker. Go to in, go to out, go to next marker, go to previous marker. Is that what that is? Shift M and Control Shift M? Let's go look at these. That's totally what they are. But it doesn't move the marquee. That's incredibly stupid. Okay, so you have to be in the window for it to work properly. Still though, that works because I can do like that. And is there a way I can like razor tool that? Like, There's got to be like a cut at selection, right? Premiere, cut at selection. Or trim, split, razor at selection, maybe is what they call it. It's so hard to know what they call things. There's got to be a simple way to do this, right? I don't want the razor tool to do that. I mean, I guess that is a quick, down dirty way to do it, is to just go like that, but that is clearly not very, it's not what I want. It's not, maybe it is precise enough, but I don't like it. It's not the way I want this to work. Okay. It kind of makes like doing the markers useless, I guess, but because like I'm already doing it, and like all I need to do then is come and like set this to be a different color so I know that it's a select. So where's the color thing? Maybe I'll skip the markers. Ooh, is that the answer? Nope, you can't render and replace an adjustment layer. Bummer. I probably could if I like put a layer below it, and that's just not worth it. Where's the color thing? Label. So we'll go with violet. Violets are my selects. So let's just move on to 37. So the next one's at 43. 43 we'll mark in, and then we're out by 55. Went too far. Out at 55. Is it R for the razor tool? Of course it's not. Why would the razor tool be R? The stretch tool should be R. You're dumb, Premiere. Also, why does that look like it's not? Did it not set my out point to 55? It did like one frame later. I guess it's not gonna make, like, going by frames is not gonna be that big of a deal if I lose a frame, but okay. Label violet. Wait, what's select label group? Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. The heck, where did my effect control go? There we go. Multiple clips selected. Okay, so if I do that, it selects all of the, if I do select label group, it's gonna grab both of those. Okay, cool. That's actually handy. Bum, bum. Bum, bum. So next one's 1 minute to 1:11. Mark in, and then 1. Honestly, I can probably set this to quarter res. We're looking at 4K footage, so I think quarter res is still actually 1080p in here, so I can probably even go down to 8th quality without losing any, like, real quality for watching this edit. Yeah, and I'm just gonna edit in RAW. I don't really care about that. Let's trim those up and set it to label group violet. Next edit is 141 to 152, which we're skipping a while. So 141 to 152. Just so much footage to go through. funny thing is it's not even that much footage, but maybe this is not really the best way to go about this. I don't know, but for now, this is my best idea. 256. Oh, I forgot to change the label on that. Label it violet. So now let's go to 256. But I think that this is going to be cool in the long run. Like, it's a lot of setup, but it's going to be really cool once we get to the later edits. 256 to 304. Mark out. .311. It's a boring band. What time is it? Okay. I've got a little bit of time till I gotta call it. 311 to 328 is a usable. Let's mark out there. Trim all that up. Okay, we're into the second shot now, the second pass. So we've got 407. This one looks like it has a lot of cool stuff based off of how much timecode callout there is. 407 to 435. That's a good long cut. That's going to be real nice to have for edit purpose later. Okay, next up is 445. I was just about there. Actually, I don't know why I'm even bothering. And 445 takes us to 452. So the hard part now is getting it synced up, like finding that good sync point, which I think I have a good idea on how to do. So we'll copy this sequence. So 515. Which, by the way, Eric, thank you so much for going through and finding all this, because it would have taken me. I mean, I guess if I would have... What we need to do is we need to get this figured out so that you could do this process, maybe, with Premiere. 515 to 521, because if you could have it like... I'll show you what I'm thinking of how I want to do this, but I think the way to do it basically is I'm going to comp these on top of each other, and then we're going to use nested sequences to get us through the edit, is my plan. So there's 515 to 521, 528 to 534, so 528. But I should definitely be giving you all of this busy work instead of me. I don't want to do it. 604 to 612. It's gonna be past where I'm at. You're busy writing code, Leafy B. I mean, you're the one. You know, you got time. You got nothing but time on your hands right now. 604 to 612. That's actually a good long shot too. I mean, it's kind of a slow track, so I don't know that we want to be like cutting all over the place, but Definitely having some stuff to cut around with is going to be good. 622 to 623 is good. How did you feel overall? Like, did you feel like there was a lot of, I mean, you've got a lot of selects here, obviously, but did it feel like there was a lot of good footage? Or did it feel like a lot of it was not? Like, I know there was a lot of resets, obviously, for shots, but 622 to 623.50. That can't be right. 623.50. How did you get 50? There's no 50. Let's go to 624. Lots of good footage. Cool. I kind of felt like there was a lot of good stuff. I think that we're going to have a pretty easy time putting a cut together here. And probably what I'll do is I'll use your selects to build something that I can do like a good rough cut with. Send you the rough cut, and then we'll work off of that from there, because otherwise it's just gonna, well, I mean, obviously if you're here Friday, well, I guess I'll still have a bit of this to do, so maybe you don't want to come over Friday if my whole Friday is still pulling selects. I don't know that you really need to be here for this part. It'd be more beneficial to have you here for the edits. Okay, label is violet. So now the tricky part. So that should be it. Okay, so I think I have all the selects. A couple of longer takes have very short things to cut around. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. So now the hard part is that I can't do like a timecode start. Like, I really hate that this doesn't work quite right. Or maybe it does. Can I like up the... Okay, so I can do a start timecode with that. So maybe I'll just duplicate that and see if I can make that work. Because this should be where we get to take 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to do all of this. And I'm going to add a video track. Did that work? Is it actually adding a video track? No, it's not, because why would it? One video, one audio, whatever. Screw you, Premiere. I don't know why your shortcuts never work. Okay, for the moment, I want to be able to see more of my timeline. So if I move this up like that, and of course it's not going to move the audio, because why would it? So I'll have to manually do that because Premiere is stupid. Now I've got to figure out where the start points are for both of these tracks. So let's expand the audio. And it looks like it's going to be fairly obvious. It looks like I need to grab all of this. And just shuffle it back. And here's where we get to play frame skip fun, but that looks like they're pretty well in sync to me. So these should be in sync now. And so what I'm going to do is I should have done this before I moved stuff around, but I'm going to duplicate this timeline. And we're going to go into the copy and guitar mid shot. And we'll call this, actually, you know what? Instead of this one being V1, maybe I'll... How do I want to call this? Man, this is not going to work quite as well as I'd hoped. We'll just call this selects like that, and then we'll call this V1. Actually, we'll call this edits, because we're into the edits now. So I'm gonna go and just remove all of the stuff that is not usable footage. Although the only problem is I still need that audio track there for being able to sync, don't I? So maybe what I'll do for the moment is I'll unlink these two and I'll just leave this first audio track here for sync. And we can mute that out later once I get them in sync. Also, I think what I'm gonna do is put in like a filler. Actually, maybe the time code. Oh shoot, all the time code's gonna be off now, isn't it? Because I didn't move the time code with the track. But I don't need the time code anymore. So I think at this point I can ditch the timecode track. And where's remove, delete tracks, delete empty tracks. And of course it didn't delete V2 for whatever reason. Yeah, so I'll just get rid of the timecode track. I'll just move all this down to V2, I guess. That's easy enough. Watch it move the audio up. Okay. So let's delete V3. And we'll increase these. It's just gonna take me a minute to get the feel for like what the workflow is here. Once I have it, then we'll have it. So we'll get rid of all of that crap. Okay, so now we have a timeline or a sequence that is just the selects. So we just got to pick which ones are the better takes here, essentially. I'll leave this audio track here for sync. Actually, you know what? There's a better way to do this. There's a better way. There's a better way. I'm going to listen to it real fast. We're going to use this right here as our leader. So let's go and do a, here in my editing, I've got an adjustment layers here. Let's create a new item. And we'll do a universal counting leader. Cube lip on 2. And I'll just put that up here in my adjustment layers. We'll drop that up here onto video 2. So where did it drop the audio for that? I don't feel like I see the blip anywhere, but it's probably just super strong. Need stream music to mute when you play audio for Premiere. Yeah, I don't have a good way of doing that, unfortunately. It'd be real nice if I did have a good way of doing that, but sadly I don't. Well, there is a way I could do it, actually. It would just require having Reaper up at the same time. It is doable now that I think about it. Because you're right, it's definitely doable. I just have to use the Reaper, and I was lazy and didn't set that up today. But I will do that from now on. Okay, let's see if I can find, is there a beep on 2? Okay, so I do have a beep. So we'll just put that at, I think it's this beep. It'd be real nice if the audio waveform actually showed me there's the beep. So I'm going to do it on the 4 count right here. It sucks that video editors don't like get you, like you're stuck moving in frames, but it'll be close enough. But now if I mute this audio, and maybe this is too far away, maybe I should do the beep like, maybe I should just sync it up to be like on the first beat of the track. No, because then it'll be covering up one of the things. So I think the 4 count beforehand is perfect. So now I can mute this audio track and I don't ever need it again. And we should be able to work that way. So now I got this universal counting leader in here. Let's bring this back down. Why is that playing? Audio 1's muted. Is audio 2 still in there? Audio 2 is still in there. Which I don't need. Okay. Let's put you about like there. I don't really need a ton of program. Okay. Premiere just, it doesn't anticipate what you need view-wise very well. That's something I feel like it could really stand to benefit. So the tricky part now is we need to make decisions about which tracks to use where. Which is kind of a tricky thought. I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick and I'll think about that while I'm doing that, so back in just a moment. And now you got me thinking about how I need to create like a setup for that so that I can just have that auto mute itself. I'm a little concerned about running Reaper and everything else. Like, might bog the system down, but then again, maybe it wouldn't. Maybe it'd be fine. I'm not entirely sure how that would work. What's up, Moosey? How you doing? I'm kind of at the point now where I kind of need to go buy more MIDI interfaces for all the computers, which is a little bit of a gross prospect. How's it going? Been busy, been working a lot, but otherwise it's been pretty good. You know, things are good. So let's see here. If I'm thinking about this correctly, which I think I am, I should be able to line up all the universal counters. So I've got this edits v1, and if I go into part 1, I have a part 1 timeline. I should be able to bring in this edits v1 sequence, and somewhere here I have a time blip. I should be able to see. It's interesting that I'm not getting the countdown. Why am I not getting any video feed? So I've got this, but I don't, okay, never mind. It just apparently took a minute for some of the video, or maybe it's just not fast enough to be able to render that on the fly since it's 4K. I guess that kind of makes sense. Gross because of prices. Gross because of prices, and gross because of all the setup time it would take and all the maintenance work it would take. Like, I would need probably 6 rack-mounted MIDI interfaces, and it would just take a long time to get all those all set up. So if I come back to this, the audio on 3 should still be unmuted, so I should still get a... Wait, did audio 3 get deleted? Oh, it put it on 2. I'm just gonna unlink and delete these audio tracks because I don't need them really. At least I don't think I need them, and then I can turn this back on. And the nice thing about working this way is now this should go update itself, and now I should have the beep on 2. Right? Yep, okay, so now I've got a leader that I can use. Can I rename tracks in Premiere? Rename, cool. So this is guitar mid-shot. Oh, this is gonna make things so much easier, I think, because now I can go and like cut around this sequence. So we just need to go through each edit and choose which things to use where, because we have all of these different things selected and we have to choose which ones we like better, which is gonna be tricky, but we can make those decisions. But yeah, I think this will work. Okay. So now I just need to go through and do this a whole bunch more times. Only 4 of them though are really bad, and then after those 4, the rest of them are all gonna go super fast. Which I'm just gonna go ahead and get some of them done real fast, like one of the quick ones, because I can get it done. So let's close the edits. I'm gonna leave part 1 up. And let's go to the wide shot. So the first thing to do here, we don't have a... Do we have 2 takes of this? We do. Oh, we have 3 takes of this. Oh, I need to throw time code back on this, don't I? And make sure that it's working correctly. So I think what I'll do here is just give myself, just go to the guitar mid. How have you been doing, Lucy? I don't know if I asked that, and I should have. Go to my selects. I'm just gonna copy the timecode plugin from here and see if I can put it on back over here in the wide shot. Can I just paste that timecode plugin and get it to work properly? Yep. Easy. You're doing all right? Well, I'm glad to hear you're doing all right. That's good. Let's kick that up to a quarter res. Although it doesn't really make it any better. It's a cool wide shot. It'll look way better once we obviously color grade it. Keep in mind, this is all ungraded footage. It's just super flat at the moment, but... So part 1 wide shot, we're going 649, so apparently we're using this version of it. This is Balam Garden. It's another track that I would really love to do. Honestly, almost any of the music from Final Fantasy VIII, I would love to do it with Smashing Consoles. Like a really cool synth version of this would be fun. And I'm sure you're thinking, you know, Damaged Drums and 9 Inch Nails version of it like you always do, but I think something a little bit more synth would be cool. Yeah, I knew you were going to say that, you son of a bitch. It's your answer to everything. Come on, Trent! That guy kept fucking saying it. I don't know what the hell was up with him. So let's see here. Part 1 wide shot. We go to 1012. And then it looks like the rest of it is just the stand-up stuff that we're using for if we need empty space filler. Based off of your comment there. 1012. So I'm just gonna mark that out. Although the select thing is not gonna work so well for this because of the colors I chose, but oops. That's not what I meant to do. I want the razor tool, and we're going to cut this at the in and out points. And now I just need to put that leader. I guess, what's the best way to do this? I think, honestly, if all of this early stuff is garbage, I'm just going to delete all of it. Because we don't need it. Oh, actually, before I do that, let's... We're gonna label all of this anything but violet, because I'm gonna use violet as my select color. So if that's our selects, now I can go ahead and duplicate this sequence. And I'm going to duplicate it a second time. So we'll call this edits. Wide shot V1, and this one's going to be edits part 1 wide shot empty, and I'm just going to have that as its own thing that we can grab and put it anywhere we might need it. So let's go into the wide shot 1 edits. And I'm just going to get rid of all of this, get rid of the time code, get rid of this. And we'll move that back. You're going so unnecessarily complete on it. I mean, that just means you gotta sell it, right? That's the move. Is that something that you can sell? I don't know if you can really like sell something like that. That's a good question. Okay, so let's go get our counting leader here. And then I gotta go find my 2-pop beep, which should be like right here. And it should be... It's this hit right here. Which I think maybe what I can do is I can just drop a marker there so I know where that is. And then you can offer to sell some sort of programmatic console to Patreon creators. Oh, that's actually not a bad idea. Oh shoot, that's not, get rid of the marker. I want the marker to be in the timeline. Okay, so now I've got a 2-pop. And as long as I sync up the... So can you get me a full version of the audio? What's the best way to do this? Probably like a full version of the audios, like 1, 2, 3, and 4 with click tracks separated, and then also like a full version with clicks separated. So like print them both the same lengths, give me the full track with the click as a separate track, and then yeah, that way I can sync it all up. I think that's the way to do it. All at the correct speed, not at the slowed down speed. Okay, so now we can delete that because we're not going to use it. I've got my 2-pop. And now I should be able to find this sequence. The Reaper project is in Drive. What, are you telling me to export it all myself? I don't know where... Did you mark at least where the parts were? Like, did you put markers? Okay. I guess I can handle it then. And then let's go to the wide shot empty one, because for this we can just get rid of the time code and get rid of all of this shit, and this can just come here. Doesn't really matter where it is. Do I have a clear in out button on here? I don't. I really should have a clear in out button. And we'll just make this violet because it can go literally anywhere. We can pull that anywhere we need some filler. Well, but the thing is, the way I'm going to edit this is I have like different sequences for part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4, and then I'm going to put those together so that way I don't have to like, because there's like head and lead stuff, and that way I can leave that in for sync and just trim it out and put it all together in the master session. I think, but I guess I could just use the whole thing and just put it in different places. That would probably be fine. That would probably be fine. But I figured this way we could focus on editing part 1 to be exactly what we want. We can get part 2, part 3, part 4, and then we just put it all together. And that way if we go make changes, I don't have to go dig through the whole main session. I can just go into each individual thing and change that, make a new version, drop a new version in. Because you tend to like to change things. You could slow down the audio 80%. The audio is already slowed down 80%. That happens when I slow the video down, I think. So now I should be able to put the wide shot in. Oh, actually, you know what? I need to drop a marker on the frame where this 2-pop happens. Because then I don't need to actually leave the audio track in. Of course, it's not going to work properly because the frame. The files we use for the shoot. Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense. So if that's where my 2-pop is, I'll just drop a marker on this frame and I'll know that I'm going to call this 2-pop sync. What time is it? It's about time to have to call it a day. Oops. 2-pop. So that's where that is. So now I can get rid of this audio track and not have to have just a ton of audio tracks. All you have are those 30 FPS audio files with a click and the whole track without a click. Okay. I'll figure it out. So now I should be able to go to the wide shot and pull in the edit. And of course it's still pulled audio into audio 2 because it's Premiere. It doesn't know how to do that properly. So now if I go to the wide shot, I can find where its 2-pop is. It's right there, so I just gotta line that up. So these two tracks should be in sync now. And if I were to drop in the, I don't know why the video's not updating. There we go. I do need to load up the Reaper project anyways eventually. Although I didn't think about this as a potential problem. Is it... If I like... I'm still gonna have to cut around these, aren't I? And I don't get any kind of like frame indicators on these projects, do I? Yeah, that kind of sucks. I wish it would show me clips like it does inside the sequences. Can I like double click to get into the sequence? I can. Maybe this isn't the way to do this. Because like being able to have this view of everything is pretty nice. But I don't want to get rid of stuff, and creating a master track's a pain, but I'll be looking at like solid blocks of things, and I don't know if that's a good idea necessarily. I need to put some thought into this. Like this is... Just with this many different shots and everything, it's so hard to... Because we have what, like 30 different shot types that we need to edit through and keep in sync. And I think this is the best way to keep them all in sync. But it doesn't give me a good view of where the clips are. So maybe... Maybe instead of doing nested sequences, the way to do this is to just copy... I just don't love that the nested sequences show me a full timeline. That's what I don't like. I don't like that I get these big green blocks that give me no indication of where shots are being used or not used. And for whatever reason, it doesn't give me any kind of frame indicators, but like copying them over into here is also kind of a pain. Sort of. I guess I could just copy them over. So if I were to name, oops, bring you back. If I were to rename this like guitar mid shot 1, because I don't need to do any editing over in those sequences now, and rename this as guitar mid shot 2. Once I come up with a better plan for this, I think it's going to be a lot better. But if I go back to the guitar mid shot, and I use the 2-pop, like what if I, oops, that's not what I want. I want to duplicate that down. And how do I want to do this? I just want to... Oh, really? Are they linked? Unlink. Okay. So if I like essentially copy this, come over into part 1, paste it all, Move my 2-pop into place. It's way back here. So it should be like one more frame over. So there's that, and then what I can do now is just drop a marker so I can visually use the marker. Oh wait, I'm still a frame off. So I don't want the audio track in here. I just want the 2-pop. So if now I go and I drop a marker on this clip, which would be so easy if there was a Premiere didn't suck so much in terms of navigation. So this I can now name guitar mid 1 2-pop. Actually, it's on the guitar mid 1 track, so I can just call it 2-pop. And now I can burn out all of the audio. And now we'll bring in the guitar mid-shot 2 stuff. This will be easier for cutting, I think, because we can kind of decide a little bit more of where things go. I like being able to visually see it better, I think. So now if I just... Oh, that's not at all what I expected to have happen. Can I not, like... So let's temporarily... Do I not have audio for this 2-pop anymore because it's unlinked? Okay, so that's what I have to do. Can I like select and drag like that? Okay. Let's copy all of this. And of course, for some reason it pasted it to V1. Let's paste it into V2, and that's why. Okay. I wish there was a way to like in Reaper there's a way like you can lock stuff and prevent left-right movement of things. I wish there was a way to do that in this program, but there's not that I know of. Like it'd be real cool if I could. I guess real quick I should go grab that the track real fast. So in the drive, what time is it? I've got a few minutes. Let's go to the drive real fast and see if I can... Because you have the whole thing, right? I don't know where you put it in here. Or if I even really still... I don't think that folder is in the replicate folder. It doesn't seem to be audio final tracks guitar. I don't seem to have the replicate folder here in my drive for some reason. Shared with me, replicate. There it is. I got it. Audio, final tracks, guitar. Like a Stone final. So let's download this. And this doesn't have a click track with it, right? Is there one that does have a click track with it? Probably not. I'll just need to find the project. Or the Reaper project. I'll just need to get into the Reaper project eventually. Oh, actually, I probably do want the one with vocals, don't I? This is still probably not going to do me any good without having a click track, but I can probably get it close-ish. Actually, maybe I have an idea for that. No, I don't have a good idea for that. But I have a sort of idea for that. So let's open the downloads. Let's move this over into the project folder. Replicate like a stone video project. Actually, I'm gonna go to audio project. Eventually I'll get the Reaper thing in here, but we'll call this finals. Yeah, I really do need to put a ducker in here, don't I? Like, that would be a really smart thing to do. So let's do new bin, audio. Actually, let's do underscore audio so that it lands up before the A roll. Drop it in there. So I'm gonna put it down into A2 since I'm working at the moment. So let's go mute this down temporarily. I will fix that. That is a really good idea, Eric, to use the ducker. So how can I do this? What's the fastest way to sync this? I think the fastest way, would have been to have it in the wide shot. If I use it in the wide shot, that'll be the quickest way to do this. So what I can do here is go to the wide shot sequence. Hopefully it starts with a click. I'm just gonna have to drag it back real fast to find the beginning. So we'll do add track. Did that add an audio track? It did. Cool. So if I drop it in here, so that's the first hit. It's so close. I need to switch to audio time units. I need to blow this up a bit. And just pick a transient that's really obvious. I think right about there's pretty good. Okay, and then I'll get that out of here once I'm done with the sync, but we'll just grab all of this and move it into the part 1 sequence. Doesn't that just sound so good? Monstery. So I need to add tracks, 1 video track, yeah, 1 audio track for the time being, and then we'll set v3 as what I'm working on. Paste that in. Did it actually do it correctly? I need 2 video tracks. I don't know why it won't let me do that the way I normally do it, but whatever. Premiere, if you say so. Okay. And now it created a new track this time. Piece of shit. Fucking piece of shit. So if I bring this in where the 2-pop is and set it on the right frame. Now we can go ahead and unlink, get rid of that audio. I've got audio 2 in here now. I can get rid of the 2-pop audio because I don't need it. Looks in sync to me, and it should be. Okay. So let's look at the guitar take here, because I think... Oh, wait. Shoot, did it? Oh, damn it. It totally did all of this wrong, because it's a piece of shit. Why did it burn out my take 2? Okay, there it is. Now it's correct. I have no idea why it did that. Or maybe it didn't and I was just viewing it wrong. Maybe that's what happened. Okay, got frame sync. Let's unlink that, delete it, bring you down a track. Oh, okay. So I've got the marker there. That's all good. If I switch over to the guitar mid shot, once the computer catches up, sync looks good. So this is the way to do this. So the 2-pop is the answer. Then I just need to make sure that tracks through once I go to the full main sequence, which maybe I don't have to do. Maybe I'll just do this all in one sequence here. No, I like the idea of doing it in 4 sequences and putting all that together, I think. But now we can kind of cut this together. We'll call this part 1 V1. So now we just got to start cutting pieces up. I'm still not sold if I want to do like a master track or if I just want to cut in the timeline. If I cut in the timeline, what's the way to do that? Would you just do like can I, if I cut this, can I like mute individual clips in here? Because that's the way I would like to do it. I mean, I guess you could just like 0 opacity it and then it'll track through to the other shot, but that's not really the way I want to do that, because it's still processing it, I think, if I do it that way. So I don't think that's a good way to handle this. But I need some way of like visually keeping track of everything. There's got to be just like a mute button, right? I don't want to delete it. I just want to be able to turn it off. And of course it can't do it. So whatever, I'll deal with that later. I'm gonna undo that cut, and then I think this is where I'm gonna have to stop for now because I gotta get ready to go to work, which is kind of a bummer, but I'll continue doing this and getting everything in here so we can start cutting in sequences. I probably won't have this done by Friday, so this part's all just kind of mechanical. It's not really decision making at this point, which means that we probably will wait, and I don't think there's any reason for you to come over here while I'm working on this part. But if I stream this Friday, I should be able to get this part finished so that after that we're able to step fully into finishing up the edit. So I'm gonna go ahead and save this. I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks so much for coming in, hanging out, all that jazz. I'm gonna bring the music back up. which is here. Also not a good thing. Need to brainstorm ways to automate some of this process. Yeah, I just don't really know what that's going to look like. But hopefully we can come up with something that would be cool. But let's think about it. I'm out of here.